You really don't need to be doing the compound movements, or the big three as everyone likes to call it. Now hear me out, I know that's pretty controversial and a lot of people aren't going to like it, but if you're training for hypertrophy, at only hypertrophy, you absolutely don't need it, because it's a lot of fatigue. If you don't enjoy it, there's no point. And there's loads of other exercises that will hit the same muscle groups without having to do the bench, deadlift and squats.
So this video has been going viral because this guy has said we don't need the big three: squats, bench press and deadlifts to build muscle. And the comment section is absolutely full of insecure blokes losing their minds. So let's actually look at the science and see who's talking sense. Muscle growth comes down to three key things. First, mechanical tension. We need to train close to failure, and we need something called progressive overload, or I prefer to call this progressive overstimulus. Now, the main driver is mechanical tension, and this is achieved when we place a muscle under high tension and produce force. Next, we need to ensure we're training close to failure, as this is when we recruit the most muscle fibers which will force growth. And finally, we have progressive overload. Our bodies adapt to stress, so if the stimulus doesn't increase over time, more weight, more reps, more tension, the muscles have no reason to keep growing. But really important here, we can't just keep adding weight to a bar if that means our form breaks down. That is why progressive overstimulus is probably a better way of describing this. So if hypertrophy, which is a posh word for gaining muscle, depends on these three things, the real question is, which exercises allow you to create the most tension, push closest to failure without your form breaking down, and progress safely over time? And for most people, that's going to be more stable, supported and loadable exercises. For example, most people will be able to push much closer to failure on a hack squat than a conventional back squat. And this is because it's more stable. The limiting factor is your quads, not your balance or your technique. The exact same applies to a machine chest press or a Smith's press versus a conventional bench press. When stability increases, our ability to produce force and push closer to failure increases as well, along with less chance of our form breaking down and less chance of injury. So the big three are all great lifts. Now, if you enjoy squatting, benching or deadlifting, or you're training for something like powerlifting, then that's a completely different story. But if your goal is purely hypertrophy, then they are not your only options, and for most people, they're probably not your best options. It's a shame Josh got so much stick for his video, but it really does show just because somebody's in good shape, like a lot of the gym bros that were in Josh's comments, it definitely doesn't mean they know what they're talking about.